Hey everyone, thanks for viewing! RayCP here, and finally after about 4 weeks of colds and the like, I'm able to record without coughing so much. So I'm back here, and this time we're going to talk about a little bit of Legion in the PvP. Just a little short video here for you guys since I haven't posted in a while. I have been busy with trying to figure out, since the launch of Legion and the acquisition of gear, I've been able to go in and actually do quite a bit of PvP with the world quests and then in Battlegrounds and Arena. So I've got kind of a little theory crafting if anyone wants to PvP as Brewmaster Monk. That is actually my second spec here that we're running. I went ahead and I got the weapon for it. And I actually have got quite a bit of points into it. I have more points into it because I feel like they're necessary for that more than they are for Mistweaver. I've got 19 points into my Mistweaver weapon, and here I've got actually 23 into Fuzon, which would be the Brewmaster weapon here. So I've got a complete write-up of that if you're interested in PvP for Brewmaster, and that's over at VictorsSanctum.com. It's under the PvP Craft Brewmaster post, and I'm currently working on the Mistweaver version of that, which is what I made. I made a Mistweaver Monk. So, the Mistweaver post should be up soon. It's just me trying to get all the small nuances and things about Mistweaver Monks and healing in PvP down. Also, as you can plainly see, I have a new UI. And it's been quite a while since I've actually ran a UI like this. I went to simplistic, just very vanilla for a long time, and with all the buttons and the bars here at the bottom of the screen, it's kind of overwhelming for me, and I feel like it doesn't necessarily help the viewer. If you guys watch me, you don't necessarily know what I'm doing. So I actually went back to several add-ons that I hadn't used before. As you can see here, this is actually Bartender, and this allows you to place your bars kind of wherever you want to and resize them as well. I also have the cooldowns up here, as you can see, so they're in visual sight, but not something that's intrusive to my view when I'm playing. We also have used a couple other add-ons as well. The add-ons that I additionally use is one called MoveAnything, and MoveAnything, it actually allows you to pretty much get into anything that you want to do in the game that's a vanilla type frame, and you're able to move it. Positioning, if you want to move the positioning of it, if you want to change the size of it, you can do that. They finally allowed us to be able to, on our own within the game, move your nameplates and things like that. So I still just use the basic one for that because it's the simplest way to do it. I do, or can say rather actually, that when you do move your frames around and do things like that, that when you have a disconnect sometimes where it'll boot you off for no reason, when you come back your frames will be at the original positioning that they were in, which will be up here in the left hand corner. But so far, I mean, my UI, I enjoy it. I like it. It's very simplistic. It's cleaner. It's more compact. It's less busy than it was before. And as you can see, I still have the bars over here, but I actually have them grayed out. So to be able to see them or use anything over here, you have to hover. And I'm very, very a proactive person when it comes to the bars being a little bit see-through, because it doesn't take up as much noticeable room on the screen for when you guys are watching me play or make videos or things like that. So we've got all my heals down here. We've got Enveloping Mist, we've got Renewing Mist, we have Vivify, we have Effuse, we've got, shoot, I can't think of the name of that spell. I barely ever use that. Essence Font is what that is. And then Shaylin's Gift. Shaylin's Gift is your artifact weapon. Then we also have Mistwalk, which is a talent and ability. And we have your... shoot. I'm trying to think exactly what the name of that spell is. Healing Elixir. That's what it is. Healing Elixir. So that way when I'm playing and I'm healing, you guys can actually see what I'm doing and when I'm doing it by watching the cooldowns pop up on these and such. So I'm trying to be a little bit more helpful for instructional videos and things like that for you guys. I enlarged my minimap, as you can see right here. Now I do keep my minimap a little bit see-through, and the reason for that is just because it blends in a little bit. I just need to be able to see the location of people or places or things and battlegrounds and things like that. I do have quite a few other add-ons that I'm running as well, and they're mostly PvP related add-ons, and I'll discuss them for you here. I'll just run down a quick list. I'm not going to go into it very in depth. I actually can, if you're interested, I can completely make another video about that, about what add-ons that I'm using and why I'm using them. But these are the add-ons that I'm currently using, and I use the Curse client. They've got a brand new Curse thing. It's not necessarily the client anymore, but I still call it that. It's kind of a central hub that they're using for your Curse voice and your Curse chat and etc. etc. We also at Victors Sanctum do have a Curse channel too. So you can search Victors Sanctum to pull up our Curse channel to pop in. We also do have a Discord channel too. If anyone's interested, let me know and I can post a link to the Discord channel for you guys to pop in. Feel free to come in at any time. Discord usually is a little bit more popular currently right now than Curse is, but I wanted to also set up 2 different clients to be able to kind of go with the flow, to always have something that you can go to. So, add-ons. Here we go. So, I'm currently running MoveAnything. MoveAnything is the one that allows you to move pretty much anything that's in the Blizzard UI vanilla. I'm running Bartender 4. I'm running Tidy Plates. And Tidy Plates you can't really see right now because there's nobody around. It works better when you're out doing like PvE quests. It shows you a cast bar and what they're casting, so you know what to silence and what not to, or interrupt. I'm also running TomTom. Now TomTom gives me this little coordinate location right here in the top right hand corner next to my map, and it's very useful when you're looking up quests on Wowhead or things like that, to where people find it, they're actually going to put a coordinate next to it. So it helps you do world quests if you can't find something, helps with the treasures if you're out treasure hunting, and it also helps because it also comes with something called TomTomPing too. So as you can see now, right on top of my body, there's going to be what's called a crazy arrow that appears. Now when I ping the map, there we go. It's showing me exactly where I'm relative to and how far away from the ping I am. Now it pings, I believe, for 10 seconds. Maybe. Oh, it just goes for an indefinite amount of time, I suppose. But this is very helpful in PvP. For when somebody pings, you can see who is pinging. You can see how far away they are, and you can see exactly where on the map to look. It's telling you basically to look at the map of the ping in case you can't hear it, if you have your sounds muted. Very useful, very handy. I'm also running Deadly Boss mods, and the reason why you run Deadly Boss mods, in another video I can go a little bit more into this in Battlegrounds, it shows you timers for capping. So if you're in an Arathi Basin, or if you're in Alterac Valley, when you cap a graveyard or you cap a node, it actually keeps the timer for that node, and it allows you to see how long you have before the node is actually going to cap, and it shows not just yours, but it shows also the enemies as well. So if something gets capped, you kind of know a response time in which you have to be able to go and defend the node, or, you know, assist you with taking nodes, things like that. We also have DBM interrupts as well. This puts interrupts on the similar type of counter, and it's a bar counter that counts down. So if somebody uses an interrupt on you, say a silence, wind shear is a good one for shaman, because that's very commonly used now, since you're going to see a ton of enhancement and resto shaman in PvP. It will show you when you are interrupted, and it will show you how long until they can cast that again. Very useful in PvP. We also are running Skada. I believe it's Skada is how I pronounce it usually. This is a tracker, and this basically tracks damage, tracks healing, and things like that. And when you're running PvP, I'm not saying like rated or random battlegrounds or anything like that. It tracks the performance of your players which are on your team. and you can actually look back to this. And there's also another deal that has a very, very useful thing in PvP. It's actually Skada CC. And what it does is this tracks basically the CC breakers that have happened, if there's been any CC breakers. The CC done. This will show you how many types of CC has been done actually in the Battleground. This resets every time you go into a Battleground. This is, I believe, from last night when I was running around doing world quests. Me and Technical, which would be Garrisar from Technically PvP, we're doing world quests. And it shows, I've done, 45 leg sweeps, 24 paralysis, 1 quaking palm, and the duration, CC targets, obviously, it shows you who I am targeting. This has been from last night until today, earlier today. Let's see. And then we've also got, on this, we've got CC taken. If you've been CC'd, it shows you how many times and what you've been CC'd by. And then we've got, obviously, your damage, which your DPS is okay. I mean, it shows you what your damage you're doing. The big thing that you want to look for here is dispels, to make sure that people are dispelling. When it needs to be dispelled, I should say. As a Mistweaver Monk, necessarily, the magical dot effects now are definitely your friend, with a lot of the talents and things that they have got for Mistweavers in PvP. So necessarily you don't want to dispel those anymore, you just kind of want to let those roll. It also does go down here and it shows you can download a Stagger one too, which is fantastic. This is basically, if you play Brewmaster, which I do when I run around and do world quests, because it's a little bit easier to kill, a little bit more efficient to kill than Mistweaver is. I've become a big proponent of Brewmaster. I do enjoy it, it's a lot of fun. And it obviously allows me to complete my quests a lot quicker. But what this does is this actually tracks my stagger. So I've had 35.35 million damage that has been staggered. Now, if anyone's not familiar with how Brewmaster works, Brewmasters take a certain percentage of damage, and then another percentage, what's left, actually is staggered over time. So it puts it in a dot effect on top of your damage over time. And that's where your brews come in. When you're talking about Brewmaster Monks, you've got your Iron Skin Brew and you've got your Purifying Brew. When you Purifying Brew, it reduces half the damage that you currently have staggered. So if you have 300k staggered, it takes you down to 150. And it takes over 10 seconds. So over 10 seconds, you're taking 300k damage. And then if you stagger it to 150, then, over the next 7 seconds or so, you're going to take X amount of damage. And that is something that does infinitely climb. It does accrue. And you do have to stay on top of having your brews, using your brews efficiently to be able to stagger the damage in a manageable way to be able to stay alive. So this is very good. It shows you exactly how much I've taken and how much I've purified. Now, some of this was in PvP, and I was actually being CC'd, so my purified level is not where probably it should be there. It's 21% purified and, X amount taken. I'm still learning Brewmaster, so I'm not sure if that's good or not, but I do know that when you get 4v1'd or things like that in the Blackrock Hold Arena, you can't stagger the damage, you just take it. It's just staggered. And it kills you. So that's the reason why that's probably so high, as I had that quest earlier today that I completed. And yeah, it's just very, very useful. It also shows your dispels, as I said, how many times people have dispelled and what you have dispelled. This is important for tracking for healers and other people to make sure that they are active in PvP, that they're actively doing something positive what they're doing, and they don't have downtime where they're just sitting there not dispelling things that need to be dispelled. Again, as I said, as a Mistweaver, currently with the spells that we do have for PvP, we've got Counteract Magic, Renewing Mist heals for 150% of the for 150% more rather when the target is affected by a damaging magic periodic effect. And we also have Refreshing Breeze, which goes wonderfully with this. Refreshing Breeze basically increases the healing of your Vivify by 25%, and Vivify refreshes the duration of Renewing Mists on the target it heals. Now, I'm not saying that this is A+ if you're doing PvE content or dungeons and things like this, but for PvP it's fantastic. It's very, very good. And there's 2 different type of heal styles to which you need to be aware of to heal for PvE and PvP. Mana consumption wise, as well as efficiency wise of what's going to be able to help keep everybody alive better. So there's that. So that's enough about that. That's the Skada meter. And we also run Healers Have to Die. Healers Have to Die is something that procs on top of somebody. It puts a little circle with a cross in it to show you that somebody is obviously healing enough to be marked as a healer. Occasionally you're going to get tanks, especially Brewmaster. I can tell you my healing on my Brewmaster self-heal is ridiculous. If you have a healer or two, you have very good self-healing. I probably am marked as a healer quite a bit in Battlegrounds if I go in there as a Brewmaster Monk. So you have Healers Have to Die, and the reason why I run this add-on is because it is very important that if you're in a situation to where your DPS are just tunnel visioning the other DPS trying to get them down, and you see somebody healing them in the back, they need to know to go after the healer, because no matter how much you beat on them, the healer probably is not going to let the person die. So that's one thing that every DPS should run, to be able to kind of allow you clarity in a situation where you might be tunnel visioning, things like that. We also run Battleground targets. Now, Battleground targets, this is something that is only in Battlegrounds, and as you can see here, this add-on is can be very, very confusing to set up, and it is got a lot of options and things like that. I actually have my friendly players turned off because I have my actual party list right here, and I like the UI that is on the base UI much better than I do this. I mean, this is nice because it shows range, but this shows range too, and then it's just very, very confusing when I'm looking at 2 of the same thing to figure out which is which. I just keep my enemy players on. Now, the positive thing about this is it's going to show you the name. It's also going to show you, are they a healer? What's their role? Tank, DPS, etc. It will also show you what their class and their I guess it would be specification, their spec is. So, you know, there'll be a Holy Priest, that would be some form of a DK. I believe that's probably, I don't think it's Blood, that's probably still Unholy or Frost, one of the 2. But it also shows you, if you have this selected as a focus target, it will show you that by this little indicator here. If they have the flag, it shows it on the bar, who has the flag and how much health they have. And it shows a ton of information on here. It can be very, very min-max, very micromanaging the way that you do this. Also, you'll see the notification here for the numbers on the side here. There is one of the, I'm not sure exactly what these 2 are for, particularly. One of these, I think, is how many people are actually selected the target. When you click on somebody, you can actually tell how many people are targeting that one target. So this helps for target callers. If you go into BGs and RBGs and things like that, where you're target calling for a group, this allows you to help see how many people are actually targeting what you're saying to target, to be able to do hard swaps correctly and things like that. It keeps people honest, and it keeps the target caller on top of his job. It's very good. So that's Battleground targets, and this is kind of, it shows you in motion what it can look like in battle and things like that. So that's BGT. And then we also have GladiatorsSA. Now, GladiatorsSA, you're not necessarily going to hear right now, and it will work in World PvP and Arena as well as Battlegrounds. And what this is an audible indicator. It is very, very similar to some of the shouters that you see, where it will say actually in chat what is going on. Mostly what I use this for is the person that you are clicked on. I wish it actually had something to set a focus target to. So if you could set a focus target to a healer, you could see what they're doing, you know, things like that. It also warns you when people are drinking. It says drinking. And then you can then look for somebody who's drinking. It doesn't necessarily, you don't have to be clicked on them for it to say it, but it does warn you. But it will audibly tell me when somebody uses a cooldown. So if I'm clicked on a character, I'm trying to think of something. I guess if it's a Brewmaster Monk and I'm clicked on a Brewmaster Monk, if he uses his guard, it'll say guard. If he uses his Stone Skin Brew, it'll, you know, say Stone Skin Brew. And it basically lets you know when they're using their cooldowns and things, so you're not over pumping things, and you can plan on the go while things are in motion. You can plan on how to approach something, because you obviously don't want to put a ton of pressure on somebody who just popped a defensive cooldown. You kind of want to wait that out. You want to wait that cooldown to fall and then go into it if you're going to pop cooldowns. That way he has no way of recovering, hopefully, and you can get a kill. So these are currently what I'm using. If anyone wants to know more about these add-ons or would like to see another video about these add-ons, I would be more than happy to make another video. As well as if anyone wants any ideas or has any comments about the UI, you know, just place them down below here in the comments. Check into VictorsSanctum.com for the Mistweaver PvP craft post that I'll be making here in the next probably week or so. And you can already go check out the Brewmaster one if you're interested in playing Brewmaster. I main Monk, and that's really all I think I'm going to be playing this expansion as Monk. I have a very heavy tendency about just playing one character, a couple specs, one character. So, yeah, it's good to be back. Thank you very much again for viewing the video. Hope you enjoy the channel. If you have any questions, as I mentioned, put them down in the comments. If you have any kind of comments or anything like that, leave them down there. We are recording our Victors Sanctum podcast sometime in the next couple days here, and it will be out. We're available on iTunes as well as Stitcher, or you can go to VictorsSanctum.com and actually stream the audio there. I guess that's really all I had to talk about today, guys. I'm looking forward to putting out some more instructional videos for PvP. So if anyone is very interested in PvP, whether it be World PvP or Battlegrounds, and you'd like to become a better player, that's what we at Victors Sanctum are for. It's the reason why we started it. So, another thing I guess to think about here is I'm thinking about starting, I guess you could say, PvP clinics and boot camps and things like that. Possibly, you know, one-on-one lessons. Some of them may be behind paywalls, but I'm thinking the clinics are going to be free. The reason for this is because I'm trying to encourage people in the community who are afraid of a lot of the bad personalities that are out there, that they can't ask questions. They don't have a safe place to go to. Well, we want to be able to offer the fact that if you feel like you can improve your game in PvP, then we want to help you do that. So I'm looking into doing this. It isn't set up yet, but if you're interested in it, hey, leave comments below. Let me know that this is something that you would be interested in to, you know, go to a clinic or a boot camp or something like that and learn more about how the battlegrounds and the objectives should be played, to be able to better your chance at maybe helping others to learn about how to correctly play the game, to be able to go and get more wins. Because right now, Horde is dominating everything. And the NA and EU 3's regionals for World of Warcraft happened last week and the week before. So we got to see a lot of class play, a lot of different class play, a lot of comps, and it was kind of eye-opening with some of it. Some of it was very, very unexpected, but it's, you know, it's happening. That's all I can say is BlizzCon's right around the corner, so the 3's championship, hopefully Sea-Doo and Method are going to be able to go in and take it. But they've got some stiff competition EU side as well. So, again, thanks for watching the video. Like and subscribe. Visit our website at VictorsSanctum.com. You can add me on Twitter at RyCP1209, or you can add Victors Sanctum as well. It's at Victors Sanctum. And until next time, guys, thank you very much for checking out the video. I appreciate it, and hope to catch you with some more PvP stuff soon.